The present simple tense in English. When are we going to use this tense? Well, it's one of the most basic tenses in English, and we use them to talk about routines or facts. So let's say you want to describe the things that you do every day. Every morning I wake up, every morning I brush my teeth, then you're using the present simple tense. If you want to talk about things that are true, okay, they're facts, you can also use the present simple tense. For example, the grass is green. The sky is blue. The turtle is slow. You're using the present simple tense. How do the verbs function in the present simple tense? Well, as you can see here in the chart, okay, when we have verbs ending in a consonant, in this case, the letter T, or other consonants, all the subjects are the same except third person. What do I mean? For I, you, we, they, the verb doesn't change. However, for he, she, it, we have to add an S at the end of the verb. Perfect. Okay. And that's it for the consonants. There are some other endings in English that function a little bit different. For example, CH and SH in English, we have to add ES for third person. So for I, you, we, they, the verb doesn't change. However, for he, she, it, we have to add ES at the end, okay? So watches, flashes. For the verbs ending in Y, we have to remove the Y and add I, then ES. I, you, we, they, the verb does not change. It's only going to change in he, she, it, third person, and we have to remove the Y, and then we add IES. So carries, berries. For the verbs ending in O, okay? I, you, we, they, the verb does not change. However, for he, she, it, we have to add ES at the end of the verb for the third person. Goes, does. Perfect. There's a particular verb in English that functions a little bit different, okay? And this is the verb to be. The verb to be, the conjugation in the present tense are I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are. Perfect. The other verb that functions a little bit different is the verb to have. I have, you have, he, she, it has, we have, they have. That's for the affirmative, guys, okay? Now we're going to move on to the negative structure. When we're using the negative in the present simple tense, all we have to do is to use the auxiliary verb do, plus not, plus the verb in base form. What do I mean? Let's say I do, it's our auxiliary verb, not visit. You can also say I don't visit. You do not visit, or you don't visit. For third person, she, he, she, it, we have to use does not visit or doesn't. So for all the other subjects, I, you, we, they, it's do not. Except for he, she, it, we have to use does not. If the verbs end in O, it's the same thing, because in this structure, we're only changing the auxiliary verb do. So the other verbs, they have to be the same. It doesn't matter if they end with a consonant, a vowel, the letter Y, CH, or SH, okay? We always have to put them in the base form. So for I, you, we, they, we use do not. But for he, she, it, we use does, and the verb should always be the same. The same thing for the verbs ending in CH. We do not change this. We only add do not or does not. I'm emphasizing this specific part because in some cases my students say do not watches or does not watches. But as you notice here, the verb is in the base form, so we should not change it. Awesome. Then after that, we have, okay, that's with watch. And I wanted to go back at the top, give me one moment, just to show you how the verb to be function, okay, in the negative. So these are the conjugations for the verb to be in the affirmative. Now in the negative, we have to do the same thing. We have to add not. Remember in English, when you're using the verb to be, you do not need to use the verb to do, the auxiliary verb to do. Like we just saw, I do not visit. No, in this case, we don't use do. We only use the conjugation of the verb to be plus not. So for example, I, you, we, they, we're only going to use not the verb plus not and the rest of the sentence, okay? For third person, he or she, we only use she is not, okay? And then the rest of the sentence. So just to repeat, I am not happy, you are not happy, he, she, it is not happy, we are not happy, they are not happy. And that's for the negative structure for the verb to be. The negative structure for the verb to have. Here you can use the auxiliary verb do or does not. Don't, sorry, and does not. So I don't have. You don't have. He, she, it does not have. We do not have. They do not have. You can choose to use the long form or you can use the contractions. As you see here, the contraction of do not is don't. Don't, doesn't, don't. Perfect. So that's how we write the negative structure in English, okay? Now let's move on to the interrogative structure on the next slide. Give me one moment. So for the interrogative structure in the present tense, how do we write them? Well, first we have to start off the sentence with the verb do or does. So we put this at the beginning, then the subject, then the verb that comes after and the complement of the sentence. So let's say, do I watch? So we start off with do, we put the subject and the remainder of the sentence. Do you watch? Does he, she, it watch? Do we watch? Do they watch? And if you notice the verb, the main verb has to be in the base form. You cannot put watches, okay? Just remember, once you're using the auxiliary verb, the main verb should always be in the normal form, in the base form. And the same thing goes for verbs ending in other consonants. We don't change them. We always have to use base form. As you can see here, do I visit? Do you visit? Does she, he, it visit? Do we visit? Do they visit? Even if the verb ends in O, the structure doesn't change. The only thing that we're going to change is the auxiliary verb do. Okay. Perfect. And we're going to go back to the top. So give me a moment. I'm going to show you for the verb to be. Okay. In the interrogative form, we already have the conjugation of the verb to be. So now we have to say, we have to put the verb to be at the beginning, the subject, and then the remainder of the sentence is the same thing. So am I happy? Are you happy? Is she happy? Are we happy? Are they happy? Okay, and that's for the verb to be. We start the question with the conjugation of the verb to be. The subject comes after, and then the complement of the sentence at the end. For the verb have, do I have? So we have to use the auxiliary verb do, okay? In this case, do you have, does she have, do we have, do they have, okay? So we start off with the auxiliary verb, we use our subject pronouns, and then the remainder of the sentence. Very good. Now I'm going to go back down in the presentation to show you. One moment. Okay, we're going to check the question pronouns, okay, the interrogative pronouns in English. So I have the translation here for those who speak other languages. So if you speak French, if you speak Spanish, that's the equivalent. So the question pronoun here is where, okay, and it's used for place. When is for a time. Who or whom is when you want to talk about a person. The big difference between these two is that who, okay, we use it to ask most of the questions when you want to know the person. Whom, with M, as you can see here, it has an M. This normally comes after a preposition. And you might not know what a preposition is, so I'm going to explain it to you as simple as possible. When you see words like to, to, for, for, before the question pronoun, then you have to use whom. To whom should I address the letter? For whom is this bag? Okay? So we're going to use whom when it comes after a preposition. How is the way or the state of something? What? You have to give, like, define something. How many? How much is the amount and number? So what's the big difference between how many and how much? How many is for things that you can count. So it's normally the number. How much is amount, okay? So when you want to know things that you cannot count, okay, the amount of something, you use how much. Why is for the reason, which is for a choice, okay? So you can use these to guide you depending on what language you speak. Perfect. We will move on with the next part of the course in a moment.